suffer. But what God are they talking about? They're talking about your higher self, which is God, because that is connected to God and is one. So when you turn against your higher self, you suffer. So the first thing you do is the spirit will tell you to do one thing, your lower nature tell you to do the other. And most of the time you follow the lower nature, and as soon as you fuck it, you say, damn, something told me to do the other shit. You didn't know, you're thinking it's a thought. That's your high self saying, fool. I know all. You see, you supposed to have done this. That's your higher self. So, breaking it down and say you got an angel on the right of you and an angel on the left of you, which is actually high nature, lower nature. And the angel on the right of you will tell you every damn time you need to do this shit. And it always tell you first. Because you always ask the question first. Because you're asking the Akashic records, which is the melanin computer. What should I do? And it gives you the damn answer. But then you start rationalizing and intellectualizing, and then you go to the lower nature. Oh, fuck that shit. Yeah, I can do it this way. Boom, you done fucked up. So when you turn against God, it's not turning against a God up there. The God up there don't exist. It's only a big ball of energy that don't give a fuck whether you live or die. But the God down here, which is not your physical body, which is the higher self in you, is the agent in which that super force can only doggone be manifested in the first place. You get it? And that's what we're talking about here. Because the physical don't exist at all. You only an illusion. You never existed. We'll get into that in a few minutes because we got to go into some other science. We're still dealing with the hard copy. We're still on page 1. Okay. Now, when we get into the Clone Wars, you must understand that most of these buildings that you see in your neighborhood that's closed down are not closed down. Yes. Any buildings you see with windows are boarded up, in old high schools, old political buildings, or old public buildings that's boarded up. There's laboratories in there doing everything from DNA cloning, implants, and all of that shit. And this is how they can snatch a nigga right up in your neighborhood. Yeah. You must understand this at this particular time. We're at a big war, so we're going to get into that in a few minutes. We lose is because we refuse to accept advanced sciences. Now, what happened? In the 1960s, you got out and start marching. Although that was a government thing, a counter-revolutionary thing, to stop real revolutionary types of programs. You know, the Marcus Garvey, he doing his thing. Du Bois blocks it. Noble Ali, Elijah Muhammad doing their thing. Martin Luther King blocks it, which was a #1 government agent under the same doctrine of Gandhi that they used, the British intelligence used the Gandhi nonviolent shit to manipulate and exploit India. Now you see the motherfuckers pour over there like crazy. Gandhi was a government agent. So when they wanted to have a counter-revolutionary, they gave Martin Luther King the same teachings. Take it or leave it alone. Like I said in another lecture, there was a spiritual woman that understood that this man wasn't right, and she stabbed that motherfucker. That's right. Because she saw a vision. She said, wait a minute, this is a government shit here. Remember, they only award people holidays who have worked for the government and have been affected. You better take it or leave it alone, because every time you get an argument, the cracker throw up Martin Luther King in your face. Yes. But like they said, if they loved him so much, why didn't they keep the motherfucker around? But the key is you always make a person a martyr that you want a certain doctrine to stick. This is reality. We can debate this thing right now. We go into the science on this. But dealing with it, we understand now that the Civil Rights Program was a government-funded program based on the Freedmen's Bureau and based on the 50C3-1 law, which is over all of the churches, which is a part of the same government entity. Let's not be funny with this mess. But anyway, particular science that we're dealing with here. In the 1960s, although you got out in the street and marched, and you marched and it was for integration, which most of the people who marched with Martin Luther King said, if we would have known this shit would have happened, we would have never done it. We didn't know where the shit was going. And then in the 1970s, they marched a bunch of them niggas in, Andrew Young, Jesse Jackson, and paid them niggas off. And the only one they couldn't pay off was Hosea Williams, so they put what is called character assassination on him. And that's what they did with automatics and that whole thing here, and the whole Reverend Buffon sharpness. But still yet, but still yet it's character assassination. But the key is this. Even though you had the civil rights thing going down, the people didn't know of no government conspiracy. You was doing what you thought was real. So therefore it created an energy and a vortex, and after a while, no wait, I'll tell you what. I might need that. You tell the brothers, the unass, if you got some other brothers. Otherwise, I ain't giving up my seat to no hard head. Fuck dumb shit. You tell the brothers, you had a courtesy, we got a sister in the back, you know the African rule. One of y'all brothers relinquish your seat. Get on your feet and let the sister come sit down. You know. Now, try to understand this. Try to understand this. You didn't know that there was color up. You thought that it was real deal shit. So what happened was this. The energy got so strong that it even drove their own children wild with the hippie shit. Right? And Vietnam protests, Kent State, Attica, and the whole 9 yards. So the crackers say, wait a minute. This shit is getting out of hand. What we need to do is we need to start giving people what they want. So in the early 1970s, they start putting out all these programs and they start paying people off. And the COINTELPRO lulled people to sleep. They said, listen, what we're going to do is we're going to put them to sleep and we're going to go so advanced until we're going to be into the year 2005. 2005. When these people wake up in the late 80s and the 90s, they're going to go right back to that shit they were doing in the 60s, and they don't even understand. The revolutionary construct or the revolutionary thing that we was doing in the 60s, we encourage that shit now. Because we in the year 2025, the year 3000 with our technology. You see? So therefore, they encourage revolutionaries. You see what I'm saying? They encourage you dealing with the same structure that you did in the damn 60s. See, the energy is gone from that now because the crack on a whole nother frequency. And now that means one thing. That means the only way that you can fight this war now is through the occult sciences, which is your own spiritual stuff. Now, what I mean by that, let's reason here for a minute. I have a document here that I sold for some of the people, and some of the people who want to get it, 5,000-year-old document saying we was going to go into slavery and everything was going to go on. Right in this document that the Greeks stole out of the Library of Alexandria. You see. Now, if we knew that, we put things in place so when we come out of slavery, we can utilize to get our But one thing, religious shit, or what you call religious stuff, a whole bunch of mythology, a whole bunch of religious things. But you don't, see, you understand where I'm coming from here? Now let's reason here. If the Egyptians or the Canaanites knew, based on this document, that we was going to go into slavery, they got it verbatim. If they knew that this was going to happen 5,000 years ago, then that means that these people had 5,000 years, or at least 4,000 years to plan, to put things in operation. So when we became dead and started waking up, we could go back to our original blueprint or model to get some shit to help ourselves out. Yet, only thing we can find is religious, or not even religious, or a whole bunch of mythology and spiritual things. I don't want to say religious.
Yeah.
Feel good, realms.
But spiritual things. So that means the white boy don't feel nothing that you have created as a slave, as a servitude slave or neo-servitude slave, which is the same damn thing. He only fears your occult sciences, which is your spiritual shit. You see? He encouraged the revolutionary path. Now, I'm not saying, like I said before, not to have, guns and no grenades at the crack of bust up in your shit. You got to get him off your ass, get him off your ass. I'm not saying that. That's common sense. And if some nigga bust up in your shit, I'm not saying that. But what I'm trying to tell you, when we're looking at the totality of it all, what I'm trying to tell you is this. The stuff that they left behind and the stuff that he feels is your advanced metaphysical occult sciences. He encourages the other stuff because he can feed that and he can manipulate that because he knows that you ain't going to unify in the physical at all. Let's face this thing. But he knows that the spiritual overrides all the bullshit that we do in the jealousy and the pettiness. So he can deal with the organizational thing because he understands that hell, he runs this world on this realm. Now, dealing with that, that means that he has to hide things that he fears is going to take him out. So the best thing to hide it is in stuff that he called Satanism, witchcraft, voodoo, Wicca, Necronomicon. This is the kind of stuff that he fears, the occult sciences, the stuff that can take him out. But we even talk about using it on an advanced level now, even in the ritual thing, which I'll get into in a few minutes. But to show you what I'm talking about, here's a clear example. In 93, white boy put out a book called Pacts with the Devil. Red book, got a white boy on there with a priest chained up by the neck and a nun chained up by the neck. Now when you look at the book, it'll scare the shit out of you. They already are wishing the conditioning that they got you under works when it comes to these things. So no, if anybody ever saw the book, it's in red, probably scared the hell out of you. You didn't even buy it. If you tried to buy it, the white boy, a lot of times, wouldn't sell it. But now, they figure, what the hell? A month ago, they put the book back out in another cover. It's called S. Jason Black is his name. S. Jason Black. And the name of the book is Pacts with the Devil. But when you open the book up, all the shit is in there is Vodun, Yoruba, ancient Egypt. Do you understand, or ancient Hemmitt, do you understand that the whole Satanism thing is a mask to hide your occult sciences?
All right.
So he puts a disclaimer on the first page of the book. Why? Because it's a difference between your spiritual, ritualistic system or some white kid going out there and taking little Jimmy, his little friend, and cutting them up, calling that Satanism. That's a whole different shit. You know, little white boy take his little sister and 4 or 5 of them crackers in the neighborhood say, let's sacrifice Jimmy ass. And they cut their Jimmy ass up. That's different. That's some sensationalism which the white boy, which they put under the banner of, ooh, he that was worshiping Satan and all that kind of stuff. This is something totally different. We talk about advanced things, because you got to understand something about the white boy. The white boy ain't like you. Can be in a religion for years, mama dead, cancer up their ass, daddy dead, everybody fucked up. You still telling them my God is able. You the only fools will stick around into something that don't work for you for year after year after year after year. One thing about the cracker, he lives for the now and he reduces the results. If that shit don't work, he like John Henry Clark said, he throwing it in the trash can of history. So for the mere fact that he is stuck in so-called Satanism and all that kind of stuff, if it was some messed up stuff, you understand where I'm coming from? He wouldn't even be in it. He said, well, let the fools have the organized form of what they're talking about. And I'm going to explain that in a few minutes. Because we're keeping this system afloat right through the churches. I'm going to explain that to you. The most evil system on the earth is these churches. Go into that too. You got to get with that. And I'm going to show you exactly how the shit works on a ritualistic level. Very key. Now, you're still on page 1, going to page 2. Now, the white boy is getting so scared now until he always keeps an ace in the hole. Now, down in Atlanta, they got a black guy by the name of John Wesley Dobbs. John Wesley Dobbs is one of the biggest black master masons in U.S. history, other than Prince Hall, who started it. John Wesley Dobbs is the grandfather to Maynard Jackson, former mayor, 2-time mayor of Atlanta, and the first mayor of this country, first black mayor of a major city in this country, was the grandson, of a master mason, Charles Wesley Dobbs. John Wesley Dobbs. Now let me explain who this guy is. They got a book called Duncan's Ritual Complete, which is a book you can go to Barnes & Nobles or Borders or wherever, you can buy it. It's the Masonic handbook to learn the degrees to go into the order. The Duncan's Ritual Complete is the name of it, Duncan's Ritual. At first, the black Mason couldn't initiate under the Duncans, the same one that the white boy. So this Dobbs cat went and made himself up an own ritual, Masonic ritual book for black Masons in the South. He was so bad. So this cat was so bad until the white boy said, we can use this cracker, excuse me, I don't want to say that. We can use this brother just in case we get in some trouble. We can have this avatar on our side. Now, in most major cities, they got a Martin Luther King Avenue, which is Boulevard, which is always some old fucked up street. Chris Rock was right on that. But they got in Atlanta, you got the Peachtree Plaza, which is the big tall glass building. You got the new Planet Hollywood and Hard Rock Cafe. And you got Macy's. Now you know downtown where the real shit is like Macy's, that's the real the real fashion district or the real commercial district. In that particular district, which commercialism, or what you call capitalism, is a religion in this country, which holds the country together. They don't have no doggone Rudy Poop Negro. They won't have a black person in that important part of town. This guy, John Wesley Dobbs, got a doggone street right in the middle of downtown Atlanta that runs right on Peachtree. And Martin Luther King, John Wesley Dobbs Boulevard. And it's going to show you that the white boy is saying, just in case we don't make it, line up all the energy that we can get. So when their God comes to doggone kill us, they might have mercy on us. So that's why they're looking for a new black Messiah. So you heard of this Lord Maitreya, who is supposed to be a cat. He's not going to be black. He's not going to be white. He's going to be somewhere in the middle. He's going to be a handsome person, and he's going to have a doctrine that everybody loves. And that's going to be the New Age Messiah. They've already found that motherfucker. And his name is Deepak Chopra. He ain't black. He ain't white. But he got some good shit for everybody. This is the man. Now, let me explain this to you on what's going on here. Let me explain this to you. First of all, most of the stuff that he's dropping is on point. The boy is bad. Don't get me wrong, the boy drops some real deal Jimmy stuff. Some real nice spiritual stuff. But you gotta watch it. Because he breaks everything down with this love principle. Love. 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 Let me explain this love thing to you. First of all, the word love in an ancient form means something probably totally different than what you think love of is now. First of all, the type of love that you're saying that you gotta have, either you got it or you don't. Ain't no philosophizing that shit. Either it's in your nature to be a loving people, and you know you have passed that test, because no matter how much that cracker kick you in your teeth, you still love it. You don't even need to debate that issue no more. You understand what I'm saying? You're a loving people.
Can we get along?
Can we all get along? Right. Now, you either have it or you don't. First of all, two things. Let's break down the ancient word love. The ancient word love, it just means passion. It means if you're going to be in something, be real about it. So the ancient black archetype comes up in the brother out of the doggone ghetto, keeping it real. Just keeping it real. That's the real true love. That means if you're going to be a damn killer, be the best at it.
Killer for real.
You're going to be a thief, don't be bullshitting around. Can't have steal. Go up in the crack shit, get caught, do 20 years. Study your craft. That's just the way it is. Because we talking about gods, we talking about the laws of the gods. There's no moralism in this. We have nothing to do with moralism. We advance that. We are immortals. It's totally different. We'll go into that in a few minutes. Hold me to that. Now, it means your passion. It means if you're going to be conscious, don't just be bullshitting around and be in this motherfucker anytime you get low, you want to get picked back up. Be in it 100%. And what does that mean? That means when the crack comes to your mama, if it's your mama versus the people, see your mama, I love you. Gotta take your head. Come for your child or your daughter, fuck her. That's the real passion. Because it's bigger than that, and you don't kill them, you only make them stronger. That's what the cracker don't understand. You can't get out of this by killing people. You only make them stronger. You release them from a damn bondage in the physical body anyway. Go back and look at Star Wars trilogy. Obi-Wan Kenobi said, if you strike me down, you'll only make me stronger. Yeah. But it means to have passion for something. Your sincerity is your credentials. It means being real about it. You understand? You can't. So what in the Revelation, which was taken from the Mithric ritual of the Persian thing that the Christians borrowed, the first thing they do is they talk shit about them lukewarm people. Don't be lukewarm in nothing. So when they talk about love, they're talking about a sincerity and a passion other than some old romance bullshit, which they got the woman all fucked up on now. You looking for something that don't exist in the form that the cracker done taught you on some soap opera style, waiting to exhale bullshit, or some Hallmark card fucked up shit. You see what I'm saying? That ain't love. See what I'm saying? That ain't love. You see, find the love within self. That's the key. Now, the other part of the love thing is what this man is talking about is this. The physical realm don't exist. Only thing exists is a bunch of gods, which is you that fell asleep a long time ago, and you dreaming somewhere in another land, which is inside your damn brain, in something about this big, a small pea. And it's dreaming of illusions that's coming from the outside, and that's what we're going through, a whole bunch of dreams that don't exist. It's only what you told yourself it was. But the thing that does exist is your thoughts. So this cracker, they're vampires. When they say love, they're losing energy. And they need you to give them more energy so they can keep this hologram going and survive. So you got this emotional feeling that you are projecting, and it ain't aimed towards nothing but the goddamn air. Oh, I just love. And you putting out energy that this cracker can use to stay afloat. Because if you're a God and the universe exists in the mind of God, which is you, then you can keep this shit going based on your ignorance by giving energy to some other motherfucker who's a vampire that's fucking the whole thing up. It's being kept alive by you. So he's saying love, 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 because he needs more energy. Or they need more energy, and he the government agent for the ass. So he said love, love. What is that? I'm still trying to define that shit. I done loved out the asshole, and you still talking about love. What love got to do with it? Look, now, in the scriptures, if the God who is to come is ourself, and this is directed to the sisters, if the God who is to come is ourself, then we know that is written in all scriptures. There's going to be a group of gods that are going to come and retake the earth, and they're going to kill across the land. Those gods are you. That's it. That means directed towards a sister. If you look at if you study the ancient goddess, she'll have a time when she's a nurturer. She'll have a time when she is a protector. She'll have a time when she is a wife. She'll have a time when she's a sexual being, but she'll have a time when she's a killer.
That's right.
If we are in the last days and nobody can debate that shit, you have to throw out the nurturing part, because it's in the story now. But for the house done burned down. Ain't no sense in loving no ashes. So you are projecting your energy in the nurturing part, which is something that's past tense. You done nurtured civilization, that shit is gone now. Now it's time to redirect civilization, and you can only do that shit by demolishing the rotten cancer. So that means that you have to become a warrior in your thinking. Well, that mean you go out and start fighting? No, it means this. It means this. It means that the female at this particular time still has a nurturing factor that is out of season. And at this particular time, she's got to get to the particular time where she don't even give a fuck about her children.
All right. Hello.
When it comes to getting the jobs done. That's why I say in the Bible it's going to be harder for women with infants. Remember it says that in the Bible. It says it's going to be especially hard for women. Now what do they mean by that? That means that you're going to be a mother out of season. It's the time to raise back up. But your energy is loving, caring. Save that shit for the other realm. That's what you got to build the world to come. This is a demolished world and a torn down world. So therefore it means this when I say this. It means that you can't be looking towards the future based on your children that ain't got no goddamn future. Go back, look at JFK, 1991. In the movie, he sensed a conspiracy that they took the man out. No matter whether he was a son of a bitch or not, that's not the point. The guy who broke the conspiracy said, if they can murder the president, that means that this whole American democracy is a bunch of bullshit.
All right.
But while he was getting to the end of the case with his passion, the wife kept telling him, oh, you done changed. You don't see your children no more. He said, of course I've changed. My eyes have opened. I can't act the same damn way when I got some fucking knowledge. Yo, the children ain't know. He said, wait a minute. It ain't about our 2 little cars in our house and them goddamn children. He said, what the fuck I'm a damn nurture them children when they ain't going to be left nothing but a hellhole to live in? So that means we got to clean up the hellhole. Fuck them children. They're going to sustain themselves anyway. So the sister's energy is still based on building a goddamn home in a fucking sewage plant. So what we're saying, we're not talking about you go home and you throw the dishes out. We're talking about... This is not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is a train of thought. As a mental perspective, because the feminine energy is the energy that is now merged with the masculine energy, and you got to come, when that particular energy merges, there's a certain role that you play, and that's fucking warrior. But it's thoughts, because the physical don't exist. You getting this? So this means that you got to have what is called a nihilistic attitude. You just got to say, fuck it. You see what I'm saying? The man ain't there and the love ain't there because it ain't time for that shit now. Get a goddamn vibrator and go on about your just get some nigga to jail. Hey, let's just get down. Fuck all the whole other bullshit. Now you thinking that this is a whole bunch of stuff. I'm gonna redirect this stuff in a few minutes so you understand what I'm talking about. I'm not just bumping my gums. I can explain this shit. But what I'm trying to tell you is this. And this is for the male, this is for everybody. There's a certain freedom that we need and a certain innocence that we need for the spiritual nature to flow in us to make us into what we're supposed to be. But we can't deal with that because we got too many fucked up shits in this tradition blocking that we're putting energy towards. That's more important. So what we're talking about is a freedom saying, fuck all that shit. It's time to goddamn roll.
Okay. All right.
Now, let me go on one thing to show you what I'm talking about. And I'm going to go into something in a few minutes to let you know. So the crack's still in this apology thing. Still on hard copy. He got some movie coming out called Amistad, whatever. Amistad. Which is a movie about a slave revolt. So he got to weave that shit back in for the apology. So they get Steven Spielberg to do it. They got Debbie Allen as a producer, Steven Spielberg as a producer, and Colin Wilson. Now, you know that they put the energy because Colin Wilson is no Rudy Poot Negro. It's a white man, excuse the expression. This is a white boy that is a master in the occult realm. He wrote a book called The Occult. He wrote another book called The Nature of the Beast of Aleister Crowley. He wrote the movie Life Force, one that's dealing with the whole Hellbound comic thing. So for him to be on this particular film, it's got a lot to do with, they are seriously trying to put together some shit to try to get out of this thing with the apology. The Oklahoma children, they got Spike Lee doing a documentary. So they're bringing up all these files of how they fucked up some shit in their own way of doing it. So they're dealing with the slavery thing in their way of doing it. But you got to understand how they're doing it. You see, very key. It's another part of the apology. Now, I don't know if I came here about a year ago, and I told you that based on some information from the white boys out of doggone Detroit, came down with some information either in late 95 or 96, saying that Kwanzaa was a government invention. I told you about that. And it was all set up just to give a nigga a holiday like Christmas as a counter-revolutionary type thing. See, first of all, we understand that holidays, if there's Christmas, there's something spiritual underlying in Christmas, and you don't know what it is. It ain't got shit to do with no Jesus birth. Because even if you talk about the physical manifestation of a revolutionary freedom fighter, they say they don't know when the month. Some say October, some say the spring. You know what I'm saying? The key is this. For every holiday, there's always something up under it that the people who run the world celebrate. So we know that the ancient ceremonies is based on the winter solstice, summer solstice, fall equinox, spring equinox. The winter solstice, you got the whole Christmas thing. In the beginning of the winter solstice, the fall equinox, you got Halloween, All Saints Day, and Thanksgiving. Going into the winter solstice, that you would have Christmas, Valentine's Day, and all of that type of stuff. But there's something up under it. That's the winter solstice and fall equinox. The summer solstice or the spring equinox, you got Easter, Memorial Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and in the summer equinox, you got 4th of July, and what have you. We understand that for every holiday, there's some more bullshit. They're dealing with serious rituals with ancient festivals that you used to deal with. You get it? Yeah. So, to make sure you don't tap into the real serious thing, they give you some shit, some old. It's actually a song on the first day of Christmas my true love gave to me, some old Kwanzaa bullshit. Now you know something wrong with it when I go down to Mullen, South Carolina, population 6,000, and on the TV, crap talking about Kwanzaa. So, remember, to let you know it's a government holiday, if it wasn't a government COINTEL thing, they wouldn't honor it with a fucking damn stamp. They just made it a stamp last year.
That's the federal government, right?
Federal government thing with that whole Maulana Karenga thing and whatever the deal is, you know what time it is. Post office just honored it with a stamp. Now you got it in black and white. Anytime they put their seal on it, just like they honored Martin Luther King's birthday, job well done, gave him a birthday.
Yeah.
You get it. You got to understand that. What happened, the Nation of Islam put out some books called the Problem Books. 22 lessons of Master Farah Muhammad so-called gave to Honorable Elijah Muhammad are these lessons. Who is the black man? Who is the white man? The mothership, all kinds of stuff in it. After he died, these lessons were supposed to come out at large to the community. Clarence 13X, who started the 5%ers, did just that when he gave it to the youth and the government took him out because of it. But for a whole, it's supposed to go out to the public. But what happened was, the government squashed the whole program, and you know, with Wallace D. Muhammad, CIA Wallace, cut the whole shit up in a jigsaw puzzle. Then broke it down, so the lessons never got out. So now you got your boy Raboni, you know him as Dr. York. You know, he did his murder on New York, he moved to damn Eaton. But anyway, the brother did something real cool. He put out the Problems book in hardback form. And he put them out, and they did a typeset on them, and now they selling them to the youth or whatever. So that's real cool that it actually came out the way it did. But I just wanted but it did come out. Now, do you know that the United States government made a movie on the life and times of Honorable Elijah Muhammad before this Malcolm X thing came out. The movie came out in 1971, same year as Shaft, which was actually was a powerful icon. So you got to understand that before Shaft, what you had was, although it wasn't Hattie McDaniels and Bo Diddley, and, no, excuse me, Bo Diddley is blues, that's classic, but Bojangles. Although you had other movies that came out in the 1950s and stuff, it was still a semi-supporting role that a lot of actors rejected, but Sidney Poitier took all the damn roles. That Ozzy and even Harry Belafonte and them said, now we ain't doing that shit. So Sidney came to fame because he took all the damn roles that other motherfuckers would do, fucking around with little nuns and shit, you know, all of them little movies. Guess who coming to dinner? To serve it love. But anyway, despite that, he became one of the biggest actors in history. He just went to skinning and grinning to do the shit. But nevertheless, he's one of our classic actors. So when they decided they wanted to do the life and times of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which was 1931 when he came to be with Master Fard Muhammad, 1971 was what, 40 years later, they got the best actor on the scene to do it, Sidney Poitier, in a movie called Brother John. You can go rent it, Brother John, 1971. Now suppose that Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a man who grew up in Sandersville, Georgia, and he had a 4th grade education, and he went on to be the leader of the Nation of Islam, which if you understand the name Elijah's supposed to be an angel. They're supposed to come when people are in trouble. So in this movie, if you understand Elijah being, in Hebrew, the Christian Elijah is who? John. John the Baptist. So the movie Brother John is Brother Elijah. Sidney Poitier grew up in a small town. When he didn't graduate high school, but when he came back, he got passports from places all over the world. And a book and a Quran. And they say, what is a man with a damn junior high school education being with passports from Cairo, Russia, all over the world, but yet he only came to town when his family members was dying and some shit was getting ready to go down. But at the end, the white boy figured it out. He said, everything that we doing, he writing down in a little book. He an angel writing down on a little book. And the white boy got with him at the end and said, tell me, how is this shit going to end? By fire or water? Sidney Poitier said, I can't tell you that. He said, well, what about love? Can't that help? He said, that might not be enough. And he said, well, how long are you going to be around? He said, you know, basically when the winds come, when the wind blows, I'm gone. Anyway, he'll just disappear. Anyway, if you look at it and study the life of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it's verbatim. But it lets you know that they put this movie out, Brother John, Sidney Poitier, 1971. Get that movie and study that particular movie and understand what's actually going on at this particular time. Now, at this particular time, anyone that goes to prison is automatically a death sentence. What I mean is, no more than a week or a month with being in there. They kill you, but when you first enter, they say now that you have to give up a vial of blood. This is the new rule. This particular vial of blood, that's all they need is a vial of your blood, or some of your hair, some of your saliva, or some of your flakes of your skin to get the DNA to clone a new one of you. So now, as a result, all life sentences are death sentences. This crack is not bullshitting around. I'm telling you, this is straight up. And so now, they have just made the rule, what, 2 weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, that all prisoners that go to prison, they have to give up a vial of blood. A vial of blood. Now, to let you know what I'm talking about, they got a new movie out called Gattaca. Don't sleep on the damn movie. The spirit realm puts out shit for you, but you will sleep on it. You know, New York, you can go and get the bootleg copy. I don't give a damn what you do. Just see the movie. Go to the movie or whatever, but don't miss out on the movie. Now, 96, I came and I told you that they got a cracker that everything that they're doing in the hospitals, they got a white boy that writes it and puts it in novels called medical horror, and his name is Michael Palmer. So if you want to know all the shit that the doctor doing, don't go to the general medicine and all that shit. Go to the science fiction section and look in the section of medical horror and get all 4 or 5 volumes of Michael Palmer's books, and all the shit in the books is what they're doing in the hospitals. They just got advanced now. They say, shit, we can fool these damn niggas. All we got to do is put it in science fiction. The intellectual won't argue it because he still wants the approval of the white man. So this is how they do it. It's called medical horror, which is the true shit on what they're doing to black people and pork crackers around the world. See, there's a war going on with pork crackers. They call them malicious. And you better listen to what these crackers are saying. Yeah. You can't, look, anytime the damn government will go to the left of discounting their own people. Now, I don't say join them. I'm saying, but listen. When these crackers are telling you that the government ain't no good, you need to listen to that.
All right.
Here come the damn pork cracker. The Klansman telling you that the government ain't no good. And your ass still vote. Ain't that the shit? Here go a tobacco dipping nigga cracker telling you it ain't no good, and your ass still up here vote talking about who gonna win the next election. Like that give a fuck, like that's have any validity whatsoever. But going back to this, all the shit that's going down is in Michael Palmer's books, which I told you that he gave the book. One of his books was Extreme Measures. How many people saw the movie? Yeah. Now, this is what we're talking about as far as passion and love. The love that you think ain't got shit to do with you going, hey, brother and sister. All that old shit. The love is passion. Now, I came about a year ago and told everybody that the most important movie you need to go be seeing is damn Extreme Measures.